Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the semi-finals of the Perth Sevens. This one, New Zealand versus Fiji. Now, these two sides met in the semi-final just last week in Singapore. It was the Fijians got themselves a win there, and the winner of this contest will either be facing South Africa or Australia, but plenty of entertaining rugby to come throughout this next 14 minutes, and it may even go longer than the 14. We could see these sides go to golden point, but either way, should be a very awesome game. Looking through at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Fijians, it is Sevomothonatangi, Jeremiah Matana, Vuiviwa Natovalo, Ioane Temba, Tario Vailawa, Natangi, Mongi Nasoko, and also George Balsi. So one change in the starting lineup compared to what we have seen from Fiji in a majority of their games. In terms of New Zealand's starting lineup, it is Rob Rush, Kitiona Vai, Tony Nashu, Regan Ware, Brady Rush, Akulia Rokalisoa, and Frank Vainuku. So a lot of experience out there on the park for the Kiwis, with a few X-Factor players to make their way off of the bench. Looking through at the form for these two sides, New Zealand started off their competition with a loss to the Australians, 21 points to 14. They then suffered a second loss in the group stage up against Great Britain, 26 points to 19. But the big thing is, they were able to stay within 7. In both of those two contests, they got themselves bonus points. And then by beating the French in game number 3, 26 points to 21, it awarded New Zealand a total of 5 points throughout their group stage, which was enough to put them ahead of France and also put them ahead of Great Britain as well. For the Fijians, they got off to a great start up against Argentina, winning their opening contest, 26 points to 10. Their next game up against Spain was extremely close, and a last-minute missed kick from Juan Ramos made the score 26-24, and then beating South Africa in the last game of their group stage, 20 points to 14. So that's now 2 weeks in a row that we have seen the Fijians beat South Africa in the later stages of the contest up against the Blitzbox, and they could meet in the final. It is a possibility. Last week we did see Fiji versus France as the main final, with New Zealand and South Africa as the bronze. And hi, says Amrit, welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Good day, Amish. Says, please and D's, go Fiji, go, says Arvin. Show the game, says Vimal. Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube, but it is available on Rugby Pass TV. It's a great option for being able to watch it depending on where you are in the world. And when is the game? The game has taken place in only about 4 minutes' time. So we are extremely close to the kickoff of this match. They are just finishing off the women's semi-final, taking place between Australia and USA. Currently, the Australians winning that one 26 points to 5. So it will be a repeat final of what we saw in Perth not too long ago, just last year, between New Zealand and Australia for the women's final. How did South Africa do yesterday? Regarding the Sevens, we got the 7th. Says Kyle. So South Africa were able to get themselves through to the semi-finals, just suffering that one loss to the Fijians, 20 points to 14. But they are playing up against Australia in semi-final number 2. That one is happening just around the corner. We will be covering that one on the channel as well. Fiji for the first try in the match, says Arvin. See, I don't know. I feel like Fiji, from their trend that they've had throughout this competition, have liked conceding first and then they go on to win games. We saw it in their match up against the South Africans. They were 14-0 down. They then went on to score 4 unanswered tries up against South Africa. Their game up against Spain, they conceded early. Their game up against Argentina, the same. So just because they concede early, I don't think at all rules Fiji out of this contest whatsoever. And that's the exciting thing. Show the game, please, says Andy. Due to licensing, if we showed any match footage or audio, we'd get taken straight off YouTube within about 5 seconds with a copyright strike and banned for 3 months. But it's available on Rugby Pass TV, depending on where you are in the world. If you already have a broadcaster where you are located, it will be through them. Unfortunately, the way of watching it for free has become a lot more difficult with the big broadcasters who do have the licensing. We have got High in there as well, and also we have got Fiji will start scoring in the second half, says Vimal. Have you decided what's happening next weekend with the Super Rugby and the Sevens 2 kicking off at 7 p.m. our time and 3 games on Saturday, says Kiwi Rob. I'll be trying to probably balance out doing a bit of everything throughout next week. We've also got the Guinness Six Nations round 2 that will be taking place, but Australia versus USA in the women's has just come to a close, and the victory goes the way of the Australians by quite the large margin. All the best to both teams, says Arvin. Yeah, when these two sides play off, it is always entertaining to watch what they can do. There is a ton of phenomenal talent out there on the park. Vuiviwa Natovalo, he at the moment is in a head-to-head with Jeremy Trevor Thick for who will be the highest scoring Sevens player of the series. for the Kiwis. They've got a few very dangerous players. Frank Vainuku, he's been bulldozing his way over opposition, but the thing is, can he do that up against a solid, physical Fijian side? Are they playing now? They are playing in 2 minutes' time. They are just about to go out onto the field and get going. Please tell me you are doing Chiefs versus Blues. We are, yes. Who's praying, says Hobbit. And I'm very nervous for this game, says Jasmine. Yeah, it's the type of match that can easily go either way when they go head-to-head. Fiji come in as slight favourites from what we've been able to see throughout that group stage. They are currently undefeated up till this stage with 3 wins from 3, whereas for New Zealand, they are 1 win from 3. But today is a new day. In terms of this Perth Sevens, day 1 was rough for the Kiwis, but day 2 could be very successful if they just get themselves 2 wins. Until the Fijians injured, Langi and Talatolo, hope for the best, go Fiji, go. Yeah, those are 2 big hits for this Fijian side. To lose just one of those 2 is massive, but to have no Talatolo and no Langi for this game, it's certainly going to hurt them a little bit. Doing the 2 Friday games, once again, haven't decided yet. We'll try our best to be able to work it out, though, and of course, everything will be scheduled, so you know what's happening anyway. Good luck, both teams, says Hobbit there. And let's go NZ Men, says Sock. And we have got there, good luck to both teams, says Sock, and there too. But both sides making their way out onto the field. Once again, for anyone just now tuning in, the starting lineup for the Fijians, it is Seven Motonatangi, Jeremiah Matana, Vui Vananalovalo, Ioani Timba, Tario Vailawa, Natangi Bongi Nasoko, who has been a phenomenal talent for this Fijian side since making his debut last week, and George Balsi there as the last man. On the field for New Zealand is Rob Rush, Kitiona Vai, Tony Nashu, Regan Weir, Brady Rush, Akulia Rokalisoa, and Frank Vainuku. So not a lot of changes for the Kiwis here. They have gone with a side that they feel is their strongest with a bit of X factor off of the bench. But New Zealand, all of their games so far in this Perth Sevens competition have been split by 7 or less. But they've only been on the right side of one of those 3 games. The other 2, they have suffered the defeats. From Papua New Guinea, go Fiji with you guys, says Alfred there. And let's go New Zealand, says Stefan. And there as well. But yeah, do let me know your score predictions, anyone who hasn't already. But the whistle has been blown, and this semi-final is now underway between New Zealand and Fiji. Kiwis, you're ready to kick this one off from right to left in the hands of Akulia Rokalisoa. Does go high with this kick. Waiting for it to come down was Tario Vailawa, throws the offload, which we are going to say a lot throughout this match as they absolutely love keeping that ball alive. Fiji, Ioani Timba receives it inside of his 22, has 2 men on the short side, but instead just holding on to it, engaging in contact with Tony Nashu. 2 men in the breakdown for New Zealand. In fact, it's a 3-man counter ruck, and the penalty is awarded for New Zealand. Oh, slightly trying to milk that penalty there. One of the Fijians after he was pushed by Brady Rush. A penalty for our men. Says Kiwi Rob, they did just receive a penalty, yes, New Zealand. And they have called for the scrum now. Let's go to the Kiwis, says Scott. I thought you would show the video, says Vimal. Like I mentioned earlier on, to show any match footage or audio on YouTube is illegal. It would get us taken off YouTube with a copyright strike, banned for 3 months, and potentially sued. The option to be able to watch, depending on where you are in the world, could be Rugby Pass TV. I know that it's free to wear for certain countries there. But if you've got a main broadcaster who does have the licensing, it means that you can't watch this without the paid subscription through your broadcaster. So whether that's Sky Pacific or Sky New Zealand, Stan Sport. Now New Zealand have got themselves the ball now. Back across to the right-hand side. Tony Nashu goes to Rob Rush. Tries to put in the big fend on Boina Soko. Has managed to hold him up and almost turn it into a rolling ball, but has now collapsed down. Do not let Fiji get the ball, says Jasmine. Yeah, it's a tactic that a lot of sides have used throughout a first half, but they always find a way to get some possession in the second. Now kicking us in behind. Being chased by Kitiona Vai. Nicely taken by George Balsi, just 5 metres out from his try line. He's under a huge amount of pressure. Kulia Rokalisoa had him round the neck, but let him go. Now turns it into a rolling maul, and they will push the Fijians into touch with a little bit of afters from a Kulia Rokalisoa as well. And New Zealand now have the line out 5 metres out. In fact, probably closer to 10 metres out from the Fijian lines. Kiwis go for goal. Sia Stefan there did the USA win. In the women's, they got beaten by about 30 points. So, yeah, once again, we're going to see a New Zealand-Australia final. Wanting a Trans-Tasman final all day, says David. And to be fair, that can take place. It's not too often that we would see it be the men and the women be in New Zealand and Australia, but now New Zealand on the attack once more. And currently 10 metres out from the line. Tony Nashu goes away to the left-hand side. Little shuffle there from Rob Rush. Try and get through George Balsi. He's fallen over, though. And a knock-on there from Rush. We need another Lomu. And also, bro, you can delay just 1 second video. Still, you will be in the safe zone as it would be technically not live. That sadly does not work. Even if you show like half a second, they do take you straight down. It was good work from Fiji there in the collision. We'll have themselves the scrum feed now, 12 metres out from their own line. Just showing here, opposition visits to 22, 68, and opponent tries 49. Vananalovalo is pointing at the scrum, trying to say that New Zealand were infringing. As in awarded that penalty now. Vananalovalo goes back across to the left-hand side. Fiji only a couple metres out from their own goal line, so they have to try and get this one moving forward. Step there from Ioane Timber. Goes around the referee. I believe it's AJ Jacobs again. He's been in charge of the New Zealanders, I believe, in almost every single one of their games so far throughout this competition. Vananalovalo goes away to the left-hand side. Big lobby one over the top to Vananalovalo, the absolute try-scorer machine. He offloads to his teammate on the inside. It becomes a foot race here. I believe it is Bongina Soko who's showing his toe. Tries to, he does get an offload away. It was a bit low. It's going to be kicked forward by Fiji again. Oh, and I think Vananalovalo may have finished that one for Fiji. It was a bit of an awkward build-up there. Looking for the offload was Bongina Soko. It only went around the bootlaces of Vananalovalo, who managed to kick it forward, and then from there kicked it forward twice and finished it off in the in-goal area. We're going to see the replay now of the step from Bongina Soko, who is going to be an absolute superstar for the Seven side already. I can tell you that right now. He threw it into the foot of Vananalovalo, who grabbed it forward twice and then put that ball down in the in-goal area for Fiji to score their first try of the contest. They will take the lead now. And the kick has gone over as well, making the score now 7-0 in favour of Fiji. And once again, this is somewhere that Fiji have not been too often. Throughout this competition, a majority of their games, they have come from behind to be able to win. So uncharted territory for the Fijians. But this could be a dangerous situation for the Kiwis if they can't stop the Fijian momentum now. Oh, a little bit of a handling error there from Frank Vainuku, but puts in the fend on Vananalovalo. Wrestle towards the sideline. New Zealand losing that ball forward, back into the hands of Fiji. 22 metres out from the Kiwi line. George Balsey goes to the Rio. Oh, that's a tip tackle. And unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be a yellow card, if not red, for the New Zealand player. I believe Akulia Rokalisoa is arguing that the momentum took him over. So they'll have to check this one to make sure that it is all right. But this one is going upstairs with the TMO. And don't let Fiji get the ball, New Zealand. We're going to see the replay now. Akulia Rokalisoa. They're arguing momentum, but there is still a little bit of intent to tip there from Akulia Rokalisoa. And he also drives him into the ground. This might be bad, to be honest. Like, this could actually be a red rather than a yellow for Akulia Rokalisoa. We're about to find out from the TMO, though, how they rule this one. I think they need to consult the Black Ferns. And Kiwis can't stop making mistakes here. Zion there. Right, this is a big decision. They are taking their time, which does mean normally that a big decision is about to be made. Who's in the other semi-final? It's South Africa versus Australia, and that one is kicking off afterwards. Nah, it just doesn't look good. Dangerous position. Lands on his head. Recommendation, red card for Akulia Rokalisoa, and his semi-final will be done. And more than likely the rest of his Perth Sevens competition as well. You can see the frustration on the face of Akulia Rokalisoa. There was no effort to put him down gently in that case. And Vananalovalo landing straight on his head. And then it didn't help with the fact that Akulia Rokalisoa, when he put him down, he also drove him into the ground. That normally doesn't get you a lot of sympathy either from the TMO. We're going to see the replay now. It's an ugly one anyway. Could have been maybe yellow instead. But Fiji will have themselves the ball. And not BS. Yeah, it's one of those ones that you're looking at red card more times than not. In that scenario. Now going off to the right-hand side. Vananalovalo pops it up to Vananalovalo. I will mention yellow card is 2 minutes, but a red card is permanent. in a game of sevens. Ball on the inside from Seven Wathanathangi. If New Zealand want to find a way of winning this game, they will have to dig extremely deep. Ball is picked up now by the Kiwis. Looking to pass it away to the right-hand side, or at least it seemed like it would be for Kitiona. Moves up to the halfway line. Tackled by Ioane Timber. And we have there Tosa Fiji Toso. Says Atamani there. Now trying to get that steal on the breakdown, but the Kiwis have still got possession. 6 minutes gone in the first half of this semi-final, and 6 men out there on the field for New Zealand. Big pass out wide from Regan Weir. Brady Rush doing a bit of sideways skipping, trying to find a gap. And what is a very strong Fijian defence. Regan Weir pumping his legs. Moves up to the halfway line and over the ball to Rio Vailawa. Manages to get himself the penalty. Now Fiji, they have 3 men on this near side. All they have to do is run this one in, and it would be try number 2. Vananalovalo showing up his stepping. Goes around Brady Rush and manages to score it. It was a big old effort play from Vananalovalo. Rush used up what he had left in the gas tank to try and stop him, as he knew that moment was do or die. But now the Fijians, they will lead 14-0 in this semi-final. And Fiji, says Michael. And also we have got there, looks like Fiji in the final, says Big Rig. It is looking likely, although the thing is, Fiji have come back from 14-0. The question is, can New Zealand out-Fiji in this semi-final, or will the Fijians stay in control? Vananalovalo now leading 24 tries on the series. Jeremy Trevor Thick is in second on 22. Marcos Maneta on 18. And then there's a huge gap between anyone else. Shilton Van Wyk, he has got 12 as the next man. And it's going to be kicked off. We are just after the halftime break. That one, New Zealand went up for the ball, but I think he actually missed it there, Rob Rush. And it doesn't carry the 10, so it does mean New Zealand will have themselves the position on the halfway line just at the end of this first half. It is easy to score a try in sevens. Or is it easy? It depends. Some sides really pride themselves on the defence. Someone like a South Africa, who we are going to get to see in action a little bit later on up against the Australians. That game kicking off in the very near future. But, you know, if you score more than 3 tries or so, you're probably doing quite well throughout a game of sevens. Oh, looking for the offload. Big tackle made by Fiji. And now Seven Wathanathangi passes on the outside to George Balsey. They will not catch the flying Fijian winger. And it's another try. They do want to check this by the sounds of it. AJ Jakob's going to go upstairs. Right, penalty only might be the call. This might be a disallowed try here. Oh no. Never mind. It was going to be a penalty. The advantage was over and they will stay with the try. Or will they? Hang on. Okay, so it's going to be a penalty for New Zealand. They got that one confused. The try will be disallowed and it's 14-0 at this point in time with New Zealand having the try. Oh, sorry, New Zealand having the penalty. My apologies. And New Zealand should just go home. Says Jasmine, we're going to see the replay here. See the shot from Ioane Timber. Does end up tipping up one of the legs of Brady Rush. Have our men got a red card? That should be a red card. You're showing your bias there, Kiwi Rob, because that was nothing like the Akulia Rokalisoa one. But like, it's nice to see where your alliance lies in this contest. What time is the game for South Africa? The game is going to be kicking off in only about 11 minutes' time. That ball has gone out from New Zealand, though. They have now got themselves a line out for now. This one is still 6-on-7. New Zealand now with this line out, 32 metres out. And I'm not the Fijian player, jumped into our player, says Kiwi Rob. The fact that you've got your caps on kind of shows that you are. Now ready to go, Brady Rush for this line out. Black Cats play tomorrow. They actually play in about 20 minutes' time up against Afghanistan. Oh, that one was hard on the knees of Kitiona. He kind of just landed with all of his weight going through. But the ball is still with New Zealand. Regan Weir caught a little bit high there in the challenge from Jeremiah Matana. Tony Nyashu back across to the left-hand side, flying down the wing now, New Zealand. Kitiona. Oh, he's dropped the ball. And that'll be halftime in this contest. Still 14-0 in favour of the Fijians. Go back and rewatch that tackle. I saw it multiple times. And it was at minimum yellow, if not red. And in the end, the red card was awarded for Akulia Rokalisoa. You can argue that he jumped into it, but from the replay, they showed that he only really had a little bit of his foot off the ground. And also, in that scenario, as the man making the tackle, you still have some responsibility to put him down without dropping him on his head and driving him into the ground. Like, there's still things that could have been done from Akulia Rokalisoa to avoid that scenario, but instead he lifted the legs up and ended up getting himself red carded. He don't like New Zealand, even though he lives there, says Mohideen. And New Zealand need to score 3 tries or score first, says Jasmine. Yeah, the second half, it will be intriguing. Like I mentioned, it is not too often that we see Fiji leading at halftime. They have had so many comeback victories throughout the last, I would say, just couple of weeks, Singapore and Perth included, but they're on a nice winning streak at the moment. Fiji are looking to extend it here and make their way through to back-to-back finals on the Sevens circuit. So what was the difference between our tackle and the Fijian tackle? Well, the Fijian player who got tackled by Akulia Rokalisoa landed on his head and was driven into the ground. The tackle that was made on Brady Rush by the Fijians, he landed on his hip and backside and then also didn't hit his head on the ground. So literally night and day. Huge difference. It was a bad tackle, says Zion. It was. It was a mistake from Akulia Rokalisoa. He was fired up earlier on in the match, so I don't know if that impacted the way that he was tackling. Maybe a bit more aggression from the man than we are used to seeing. But, you know, he'll look at it and go, that was just a stupid thing to do. And now it means that more than likely he won't be playing in the next game, Aussie versus Fiji final. It is a possibility. And if that is the case, it would mean that we once again get the bronze final between New Zealand and South Africa. But the South Africans, they come in as favourites in their contest up against the Australians, so they will feel like they can go on getting themselves a decent win there. If he lands on his head, why didn't he go off for an HIA? Says Kiwi Rob. Once again, you don't have to go off for an HIA. They would have assessed him. We did see the doctors go on the field and check him out, but obviously he passed the questions that they asked him and he was fine, which is great news. And it could have been much worse, but you still can't tip players on their heads. That's like punching a bloke and going, but he didn't knock him out, so why do I have to get sent off the field? You know, I could have knocked him out, but I didn't. So I shouldn't be red carded for punching him. Why the same South African ref for all 4 games? That is a good question. I actually asked it earlier on in the stream as well. We've actually had AJ Jacobs in most of the group stage fixtures for the Kiwis, or if not all of them. I'm trying to think of who Fiji have had as their referee, though, from their games. I think they've had Nick Hogan up till this match. So they've actually had a New Zealand referee for all their games, Fiji. And we have got there, as it's the first red card for the weekend, and it's the first that we have seen from commentating. There may have been ones in other games that we haven't covered, though. Fiji are on a 9-game winning streak and haven't won 10 straight since 2022. So they're on a bit of a dream run at the moment, this Fijian side. What is needed for Fiji to finally secure a win for the overall series? They're going to need probably 2 more first places at least, and then that consistency that they had last week. If they don't finish first, they need to finish top 3 or 4. But currently they've got a narrow lead. I believe it's 4 points ahead of anyone else. But a win here in the final would give them a good boost because New Zealand are the other team that are right up there in second, the way that it currently sits. But now New Zealand attacking from 10 metres out from their own try line. They are still down to the 6 men on the field due to the red card of Akulia Rokalisoa. As Frank Vainuku wrestled down 22 metres out from his line. Rob Rush cutting inwards, gets around the tackle attempt, now offload. Attempted a Brady Rush. He knocks it clearly on. AJ Jakob says it's backwards. Now he goes back and rules it as the knock on as it went forward by a couple metres. Who scored the 2 tries for Fiji? We have seen Vananalovalo score both of them. Which, to be fair, if anyone was going to step up in the first game of the day, just like he did in the Singapore Sevens, he got that hat-trick in the opening contest of that competition. He has got himself 2 here and could work his way towards the potential 3rd. Can he go to jail? Not for his tip tackle there, I wouldn't think. It looks like Taria Vailawa actually going to be taken off the field by Fiji. This is a bold call, but I think that is a little bit of strategy as well. They feel they're in a position where they should be able to go on and win this game. And they want him as fresh as possible for that final. Also, not a bad option off the bench in Filippo Bucayaro to make his way on. Now moving away to the right-hand side. Passing it across Vananalovalo. Another chance. Ioane Timber pops it on the inside. Attack and run from Bongina Soko. Going to be tackled by Tony Nashu. And a penalty awarded there to the Fijians for a high tackle. 10 metres out from New Zealand's line. It looks like Fiji want to take the quick tap. They've got numbers to the left-hand side. If they can fire it out, they should almost be able to score. But instead, Ioane Timber looks off to the right-hand side instead. Passes it on the outside. It works out, and it will be the try on the Tangi Bongina Soko. He does get himself another one. World Rugby really care about head injury. They should automatically go off. says Kiwi Rob. Well, one of the two did automatically go off. It was just the man who got the red card rather than the Fijian player. But the try in the corner for the Fijians. Bongi Nasoko, they are making a statement here in this game, Fiji. They are ready for the final. It's a big late shot from Rob Rush as well, to be fair. You've got to be careful doing that. And if you don't go to jail for butt poking in a game, then nah. And Rush and Rokolisa are bad form in both Singapore and Perth tournaments, says Mavstar. Yeah, there have been questions around the selection of some of the players. That's a beautiful kick from the sideline for Fiji. They now lead this game 21-0 over the Kiwis. Just the 4 minutes remaining. My original score prediction in this one. Oh, Bongi Nasoko. Looks like he is going to be done for the day. He has also been taken off the field. Time is now back on. New Zealand still playing with the 6 as they will be for the remaining 4 minutes of this contest. It's kicked off high by the Fijians, missing the takeoff, the kickoff for New Zealand. Now it's picked up by Manuele Maisamoa. He's going to back his pace to go on the outside. Pops it one more on the inside to Vananalovalo. Huge cut-out pass there. Nice little short pass from Tani Vananalovalo. They will cut through again, Fiji. And Filippo Pucciaro scores the 4th of the contest now for the Fijians. Well, that is 28 points now for Fiji in this contest up against the Kiwis. This game's getting very ugly in terms of the scoreboard, but it is a thing of beauty from this Fijian attack, just finding gaps for days in this New Zealand defence. Go Fiji Go, says Avakish there. Oh well, bronze final for New Zealand, says Jasmine, and Tosa Fiti Toso, says Sitari there. And I knew we were going to get a nuclear equation type score put on us. That kick has gone over. Now just the 2 minutes remaining on the clock. My score prediction for this game was 26-12 in favour of Fiji. I think I may have gone a little bit light on the Fijian score sheet. Although I didn't predict a red card, of course. That always does affect a scoreline a little bit. Kiwi fans might as well tune out. Says Zion. Do they get the bonus points, says Please and Tease. No bonus points in playoff rugby. And we've got Street Miles again, once again putting his YouTube channel. You'd be better off starting a conversation, Street Miles. I actually checked out your channel from you putting it there. But, you know, if you're going to self-promote, you at least got to tell us what your channel's about, rather than just going with the random link and hoping people will click subscribe. Did you visit jail, Hamish? When? Who told you that? They must have been lying. Tosa Veti Tosa, says David. And there as well. And it's another mistake made from this time New Zealand in terms of that rolling maul chance. Fiji now have got themselves another scrum. Fiji all the way, says Street Miles. And also with Rocco remain on field, make an enormous difference, or would Fiji still have won? I think Fiji still were favourites for this match and probably would have still won the game, but it would have been a bit closer, I feel, in this contest. Like, honestly, like that 26-12, I could have seen New Zealand getting a couple tries in this contest. So, like, their handling's been poor as well for the Kiwis, which hasn't really helped them out that much. But I still think Fiji, from the way they've been attacking, they still would have probably won this game. Now a big pass on the outside from Bolsi. Goes now to Tani Vananalovalo. Passes one more. Now nice stepping on the inside. It's some beautiful footwork from Daveta. Did actually get to start the last match up against these South Africans. Now straight through the gap. It's another try for Vananalovalo. The hat-trick has arrived. And he gets himself yet again another one. New Zealand is now completely off their feet in this game. 35-0, the way that the scoreboard sits. And it could depend on the bench to bail you out each game. Starting 7 should be able to lay a platform for the bench, says Mavstar. And yeah, I think that's where, you know, sometimes they haven't made the best decisions, New Zealand, when it comes to their selection. Now, of course, it's easy to say that now that they're losing, but let's be honest, they lost 2 of their games in the group stage as well. So it hasn't just happened this game that they've made a few errors overall. Manuele Maisamoa does add the additional 2. 55 seconds remaining here, and Fiji are up 35-0 in this game. How long? Just the 50 seconds remaining. New Zealand will be thoroughly looking forward to this game ending. I can tell you that right now. It's a good day for Fiji Vanaka. So yeah, they will be through to the final of this contest, facing the winner of Australia versus South Africa, which is coming just around the corner. Red card spoiled in this game. Says, was there from Street Miles? They're looking for the counter ruck. New Zealand, though, in position with 30 seconds on the clock. Can they score themselves one in this contest? Bit slow getting back up to his feet there for Scott Gregory. Breaking down the wing now for New Zealand. It's going to become a bit of a foot race. Looks like a nice ball on the inside taken by Michael Manson. This man has talent and he's got a bit of pace to match, but he gets wrestled into touch by the solid Fijian defence of Filippo Pukearo. Can you wear a Fijian shirt or shirt in the final? Says Kanuna. I actually have a few Fijian Brewer kits. I don't have a Fiji Sevens one. That one just goes into touch. And Michael Manson running out of space. Fiji just need to claim this line out and put the ball into touch. Class hiding, says Zion there. Right, Fiji have been told to get into that line out. Next game for these two sides will be slightly at different times. Of course, New Zealand will be playing for the bronze. Nicely taken by the Kiwis here, though. Savai Tipo, there was no clear release there from Davida. Oh. Okay, that's going to be bad. AJ Jacobs is going to send Sofai Tipo to the bin. He was yelling in the referee's face. He didn't let me go. It's an effing penalty. He dropped about 3 F-bombs at AJ Jacobs. So it means that Fiji get themselves the last touch of the day. They'll kick it into touch and they will win the semi-final. And they have 35 points to 0. But nonetheless, we jump over now to the next live stream. That will be Australia versus South Africa. That last penalty for New Zealand, swearing at the referee, pretty much sums up the whole game, really. But nonetheless, we'll jump over and we will see you all in the very next one.